Welcome to the course of HDL Digital Circuit Design. Today's topic is Programmable Logic Devices PLD. Myself Shilpa Rudrawar, Assistant Professor, School of ENTC Engineering, MIT Academy of Engineering, IMD Pune. So moving towards today's topic, that is the Programmable Logic Devices. In the era of VLSI, that is very large scale integration, you are able to see that different gadgets with new features introduced now and then. Without verification, that is checking the correctness of your functionality, it is not possible to introduce that feature in your devices. So manufacturing IC for implementing new feature directly without verification is time consuming as well as costly affair. Also, there is no guarantee that whatever function you are going to implement will work properly without error. So solution for that is the PLD. So what is meant by PLD? PLD is an IC that contains large number of configurable gates and flip-flops that can be configured by the user to perform different functions, and this function user can implement on a single device. The internal logics, that is connections between PLD, can be changed by the programming process. So what is the advantages of that particular PLD? So flexibility wise, it is flexible because you are able to reconfigure the device as many times as you want by modifying the function. Cost and efficiency, as we are using same IC, that is PLD, for reprogramming, cost will be less and efficiency wise it will be more efficient, and the inexpensive software tools will be there for programming that PLD. Iterative design, that you can program that device, test it, modify the functionality, and these things you can do multiple times. So usability wise, it is more usable. Example of PLD are field programmable gate array, that is FPGAs, and complex programmable logic devices. Normally this FPGA and CPLDs are used for implementing complex logic. Now, as we have seen programmable logic devices, what is meant by fixed logic system? So in previous we have seen that it is reconfigurable. You are able to reprogram it again and again. But in the fixed logic system, it has a circuit whose configuration are permanent. Their instruction performs only a fixed set of operations repetitively. Once manufactured and programmed, the logic cannot be changed, and that's why this is the fantastic asset for repeated tasks. Additionally, fixed logic systems are not expandable, and modification after production is not possible. Example of fixed logic system is application specific integrated circuit, that is ASIC, which is customized. Example, if you want to manufacture a IC for toy car which will be operating forward, reverse, left, right, so it will be performing that task repetitively over there. Again, example is the microcontroller. So 8-bit microcontroller is there, and specific instructions are there, registers are there. So you will not be able to modify that register over there, and you need to perform the operation on that 8-bit data only. So that way logic is fixed, and you need to stick to that. So comparison between fixed logic and programmable logic. So usability point of view, limited operations are there in fixed logic, but in programmable logic you can reconfigure and flexibility is there. Risk wise, fixed logic is somewhat riskier. Once that has been done, you will not be able to modify it. Program is done, you are not able to modify it. But in programmable logic, you can reconfigure it multiple times, and that's why low risk is there. Expansion wise, there is no possibility of expansion in fixed logic, but in programmable logic you can easily upgrade or expand it. Cost wise, fixed logic is costlier, because once there is an error, you have to discard that particular IC. In programmable logic, cost will be lower because you are using that IC again and again for reconfiguration. So that way programmable logic is advantageous because it is cost effective, flexible, iterative testing is possible, and that's why we are preferring programmable logic devices over there. Now, how to implement logic in PLD? So there are different types of PLD. In the coming slides, we'll be seeing that what are the different PLDs. But whenever you are implementing any logic, Boolean function over there, it is in the form of POS, that is product of sum, or sum of product. And whenever you are having any truth table, you will be getting the equation, that is Boolean logic for that, by solving the K-map. So here you are able to see this K-map, solved K-map, and this function you need to implement. So for implementing, you require addition, that is OR gate, and products are there, so you require AND gates. So PLD internal structure is having array of AND and array of OR. So here you are able to see input is given over here to the AND array. Array means number of AND gates over there. Inputs are more to the AND gate. Again array of OR gate, and ultimately you will be getting the output, that is the sum of the product. So this is the sum, and product of this are getting sum over here. Conventional symbol for the AND gate and OR gate you are able to see over here with many input, multiple inputs to the AND gate and multiple inputs to the OR gate. But whenever array logic is implemented, symbol is in this way. That is, single line is there and multiple vertical line which will be saying A, B, C, different variables are there. And if you are observing it properly, you are able to see this cross. Meaning of that, it is programmable. If that is dot, meaning of that it is fixed. You are not able to program. So keep that thing in mind, that cross indicates programmable and dot indicates fixed. So array logic symbol is shown by this. Moving towards the programming technology. First technology is fusible link technology. Meaning of that, it's the normal fuse that you are knowing. So connections are already built over there. Fuse is intact over there, and whenever you want to program the device, you need to blow that switch fuse. So whenever you are blowing that fuse, the connection will be removed over there. So this is one-time programmable device, that is OTP. Once it is programmed, you will not be able to reprogram it. So over here it is the OTP, one-time programmable. Because once fuse are blown, you will not be able to make it connect it again, and that is the limitation of this particular fusible link technology. So you are able to see that A is connected to the AND gate through this fuse, A bar is connected to this AND gate through fuse, and initially this fuse are intact, but whenever you are programming is that fuse are blown, and that's why connection has been gone. So only you are able to see the connection here, and here this connection has lost, and once it has been blown, you are not able to connect it again, and that's why it is one-time programmable, that is OTP. Opposite of that fuse is the anti-fuse. Initially there is no connection, and once you are applying high voltage, connection is getting established. Here also it is one-time programmable, because once that fuse are means once you are applying the voltage, that connection is established and you will not be able to break the connection again. So actually what is there in the programming of process of anti-fuse, we need to apply high voltage to convert insulating amorphous silicon into conducting polysilicon. So at start there is the non-conducting material, that is insulating material present over there, but whenever high voltage is applied, that insulated material is converted into conducting polysilicon, and that's why it forms a link. So this is again a one-time programmable. Once it has been programmed, you will not be able to program it again. So this is the anti-fuse technology for programming, that making and breaking of the connection. We have seen that in PLD there are large number of gates and flip-flops are available, which can be connected together depending upon your functionality, and that making and breaking of the connection is possible using programming technology. And here we have seen that two technologies, that is fuse and anti-fuse. Now problem with standard ICs in logic design. Now why we are choosing PLDs instead of choosing multiple ICs? So the same thing is addressed over here, that problem with standard ICs in logic design. That is, space requirement will be more. If you are implementing the logic using multiple ICs, so that way the space required on board will be more, and you need to make the connection between that ICs. So soldering will be there, you need to debug that. If dry soldering is there, you need to identify it, otherwise it will be giving the erroneous output. And inventory wise, every time you need to maintain the inventory of that ICs. So that's why it is not feasible, and that's why we are preferring programmable logic device, which is the single IC in which you are having multiple or large number of gates and flip-flops which can be programmed, meaning of that we can make or break the connection, make the connections over there. Now advantages of using PLDs. Space efficiency. On a single board you are having that particular IC, single IC you need to program over there. Performance wise it is fast, time to market will be less because you are not manufacturing the IC, that my IC is available, you are testing it, and that way the result you will be getting, that is faster one. Cost, that is it is less costly because IC you can use that multiple times. Reliability wise it is more reliable, and design tool, that is the software which are used for programming that IC will be somewhat cheaper. It is not that way costlier, and that's why these are the advantages of PLD. Now types of PLDs. Depending upon the complex logic implementation, whether you need to implement smaller logic or complex logic, you can go ahead with the different types of PLD. Definitely over here you are having the programmable devices, that is array of AND gate, OR gate, mux over there, flip-flops over there. So depending upon logic you need to implement, the things will be different. So first is ROM, read-only memory. Second is PLA, programmable logic device. Third is PAL, programmable array logic. Fourth is GAL, generic array logic. And for high capacity programming, that is complex logic implementation, you can move ahead with the CPLD, that is complex programmable logic devices. And second is the FPGA, field programmable gate array. So what is meant by this PLA, PAL, ROM, as well as what is CPLD and FPGA, that we will be seeing in the coming lectures. So in the coming session, we'll be taking the example of how to implement logic in PLA, ROM and PAL. So here you are able to see that chart where this ASIC is there, that is application specific integrated circuit, that is the customized one. It is divided into two parts, FPD, that is field programmable devices, and ASIC, that is the it is somewhat fixed logic you are going to implement. So will not be moving to this particular part. We'll be concentrating on this part, that is field programmable devices. Now they are again divided into SPLD, that is simple programmable logic devices. Next, that is complex programmable logic devices, and FPGA, that is field programmable logic devices. Depending upon complexity, you can move towards this side. So if logic is more complex, you can go ahead with the FPGA. If it is simple, you can go ahead with the SPLD. Now SPLD again divided into PLA, programmable logic array, PAL, programmable array logic, GAL, generic array logic, PROM, programmable read-only memory, EPLD, that is electric programmable logic devices, and E²PLD, that is electrically erasable as well as programmable logic devices. So this is what is the classification. Now programmable connections. Whenever you need to make the connection, as I told you earlier, that it is having fixed somewhat AND array and OR array. So here we are able to see that here are the inputs, these are the logic gates as well as flip-flops available over here, and these are the outputs. So once you are giving the input, depending upon the logic you are going to develop, it will get programmed and you will be getting output. Here you are able to see AND array and OR array. Something is written, that is it is programmable, this is fixed, this is programmable, this is fixed, or both are programmable. That depends upon which type of PLDs are there, whether it is PAL, whether it is PLA or ROM. Depending upon that, this programming ability will be different. So by saying this, I just want to conclude today's presentation on the PLD. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you and happy learning. We'll meet in next presentation. Thank you.